we can start here today. Matt's currently blanking out some rail parts for us. So this entire stack is destined to be carved rail parts. So we start out by having them all sorted for color, for grain match, and then also for the grain once the final part's completed. And then they each get machined on the CNC. This one, you can see, didn't quite make the cut. There was a flaw in the wood that we didn't really see until it got into it. So this whole part got rejected, which is a bummer, but that's why we do this. That's why we make plenty of extras. So then the final parts, as they come off of the machine, are ready for hand sanding. These ones have been roughly detailed. They've been sanded to about 80 to 100 grit. So these parts are out there right now, are ready to be freed up and joined to the handrail for final detailing. And all of these parts are getting 3D carved on the machine as we speak. So it starts with the 3D model in the design office. The blanks get made up according to the specs that they spit out. And then Matt brilliantly can machine all of these parts. They need very minimal hand work to get them up to finished goods ready to install. The rail parts come off of the machine. They come over here for sanding. These parts have been detailed. And over here, at this workstation, the guys are prepping the parts to be mitered, and they're starting to do the fitting process for these. You can see we make a custom fixture so that when we cut the rail joints, it's perfect and aligned exactly where in the computer we've designed that joint to be. All right, so here in the stair drum today, we are making some of the final preparations for this custom white oak helical spiral before it goes to its forever home. So this project is with Mike Riddle Construction and Capree Architecture. We've been working on this project for over a year now, from initial design to now the actual physical parts being manufactured. So if you can follow me, I can show you some interesting details here. So this stair is fully freestanding, so it's only attached at the floor and then up at the second floor where it attaches up there. The whole stair is supported on structural glue lam stringers that we made in-house, in addition to the white oak visible skirts. Every riser is going to be mitered here on site with a perfectly tight, flush, detailed out joint. Custom white oak treads that were also all made in-house. Everything's being staged right now. We have the risers and the treads and the handrail. Everything's getting final fit and prep so that when we take this on site, we can put it all together. So usually a stair like this would be fully and completely assembled and detailed here in the shop, but because of some unique conditions of the site, such as the door opening, the hole in the floor, basement access, we actually designed the way we manufactured the stair so it can be brought in 2 sections and put together on site. So the risers, treads, and all the support bracing is going to be added after we go in there. It's going to make the install much easier, much smoother, and it's going to reduce the likelihood of damage because we won't have this gigantic assembly that we have to get on a trailer and move down the highway, protect from the weather. So that's just kind of one example of some of the customization we have to do to achieve the design intent given the site conditions of every project. Okay, so this stair over here is a custom steel elliptical stair. So what that means is that the radius of the steel is not consistent. It changes twice. You can see that we have 3 different pieces of steel up in the form right now. That's because where those steel components overlap is where we're going to have the joint from one radius to the next. If you look on the floor, we can actually see that we have an elliptical aspect to this stair. It's not a consistent radius, which is why we had to make it in 3 separate sections. So we use this formwork so that when we align these steel components together, that joint is perfect. We can make it structural. We can make sure that when it passes inspection, everything is all good, and the aesthetics are where we want it to be. We don't have any faceting or bending at those joints. For the white oak helical stair, which we've been working on, we also are making custom versions of all the balusters and newel posts. We actually, on our lathe, machine, drill and tap for a threaded tenon. So each of these balusters and newel posts is going to have a perfectly clean joint into the floor. So instead of having a base shoe or some sort of trim or knuckle to cover that, it's a perfect joint between your part and the wood for just absolute elegance.